YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So, as I said in my previous video that I posted yesterday, Meghan and Harry have been recorded by staff who have now doubled down on their leaked statements to the media, and it has been confirmed that they did in fact have a nasty fight during their New York attempted royal tour trip, and allegedly they was actually seen and witnessed by staff who then obviously recorded them having this fight. The reason why I'm going over this is because this is the second publication to run this story, which means that it more than likely was true, and we probably will be hearing some of the footage of them actually fighting any day now, because of course we are all aware of the fact that not only was they wandering around in New York for some extra PR in order to boost up their likability in America, because they clearly don't have it over here in the UK, but they also was recording for their Netflix series, which is coming up. So there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectations that they have to fulfill if they want to actually get access to that money that Netflix has offered them. Now, I'm sure you are aware of the fact that they do in fact have access to some of the finances for the Netflix documentary, because they would have been given at least 10 to 20% of their contractual pay in order to put together the production materials and a team in order to get the content shot. So they have some access to that money, but we know that Meghan spends money like water, which was demonstrated during her New York tour. She chose some pretty off fashion pieces that wasn't really that flattering to her body, but they was extremely expensive nonetheless. They are probably steadily running out of money. And of course, there is a lot of tension regarding the christening of Lily. Meghan wants it to happen over here in the UK, despite the fact that she has shown so much contempt and disrespect for the royal family and little regard. She wants it to happen over here in the UK. Harry, on the other hand, does not. He feels as though he's hurt his family to a point whereby he needs to stop now. He needs to give them a bit of recovery time before the next barrage of abuse. Meghan Markle obviously doesn't see it that way. So she is fighting essentially to have the christening over here within the next few weeks, and this allegedly is what the main bust up was about. So this is another online source that I'm going to read out to you guys that is basically reiterating what the other one previously said yesterday. So let's get into it. Busted fighting when the Sussexes left a meeting at United Nations headquarters. They were full of waves and smiles for the waiting press pack, but as they climbed into their Range Rover, witnesses claimed their expressions slipped. Harry was pinching the bridge of his nose and looked stressed, while you could clearly tell Meghan was upset, says one witness. New Idea is exclusively told that Harry grew frustrated with Meghan during the trip because he struggled to get a word in edgeways during their high-powered meetings. He does love that Meghan takes the lead on things, but he always had a problem with playing second fiddle to his brother, and now he's taken a backseat again, says our source. They might behave all lovey-dovey when they know the cameras are on them, but sometimes once they're in private, there can be a lot of tension. And that's pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, they don't have the most stable foundation for a loving, fruitful marriage, because it's all pretty much based upon either vilifying either her side of the family or his side of the family. And happy people who are happily married, happily in love, tend to not really do that. They tend to want to have as much family around them as possible, especially when the marriage is new and fresh. And yeah, they have their honeymoon phase, but they tend to be quite content and in love. And love doesn't really mix with hate. It can, but it's one or the other. You would think that all of this drama that Meghan and Harry have had would be happening in, say, year 4 or 5 of the marriage, not so early on. So it's been very tense consistently throughout their marriage. So it continues on here. For months, sources close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have whispered that the couple was preparing to enter a new era of visibility, and they weren't wrong. Following the birth of their daughter Lily in June, Meghan and Harry returned to public life with a bang when they jetted to New York City for 3 packed days of public appearances. And while they attempted to keep their diary full of quasi-royal events, such as rubbing shoulders with everyone from mayors and governors to school kids and struggling restaurateurs, they still managed to find time to create drama. Insiders claim Meghan wore heavy coats despite the warm weather because she was trying to hide microphone wires being used by a camera crew who were discreetly filming her every move. Harry was also spotted with a wire poking out from his shirt, suggesting he was also mic'd up. The Sussexes have been under pressure to produce films and television projects after signing a $200 million plus deal with Netflix that has so far not yielded a single completed production. Sources say the couple hit the bar at the swanky Carlisle Hotel each evening, including a martini-fueled night spent with Meghan's bestie Misha Nunu and her husband Mikey Hess. The pair also grabbed lunch at Melba's Harlem. Melba Wilson told People the Sussexes are extremely gracious and really genuine. How would she know that after 1 or 2 chance meetings? They took time to engage with other customers who were shocked that they were there. They talked with our service staff and with our chef. She says Princess Diana's former bodyguard Ken Worth has also weighed in on the couple's trip, saying it was farcical. If Harry and Meghan had protection from New York police or Homeland Security, they no longer represent the Queen or the UK, so they should be private individuals and no public money should be spent on them. Worf explains no one else would receive such treatment, so why should they? They seem to think they're entitled in the mistaken belief they're doing good things, but that is very debatable. And then the article goes on to say that Meghan wore a staggering total amount of $126,000 worth of clothing and jewelry during her whirlwind trip, among them being a £20,000 outfit, which included a red cashmere coat and suit with the Cartier Love bracelet and Manolo Blahniks. She wore this to visit a school in Harlem, which is extremely tone deaf, where 94% of the students are too poor to bring their own lunches. It was a rather grotesque show of wealth amid the most poverty-stricken areas of New York, said one insider. It's hard to know what she was thinking. She is tone deaf. When you think back to all of the royal tours that Princess Diana would carry out, i.e. when she was walking amongst the landmines in South Africa, and all of the people that she met along the way and the regular people that she engaged with, there was very little focus on her stylization, as in those moments she would just be wearing regular clothes, a simple shirt, simple pair of trousers, inexpensive items. And that's why the public loved her so much, not just over here in the UK, but globally. Meghan Markle is pretty much all about the money. You visit one of the most poorest neighborhoods, one of the most poorest schools where the children are living essentially below the poverty line on average, and you wear a pair of Manolo Blahniks, you wear a pure cashmere coat, and I think she had a Dior clutch bag worth £6,000. Then this love bracelet from Cartier that she's constantly wearing, and you proclaim to be someone who is understanding, who's more relatable than someone like Kate. Kate has been pictured with extremely expensive high fashion designer goods, and she always will be because she is, our future queen. but she also knows how to tone it down. She also knows how to just throw on a t-shirt from Tesco's or from the high street as well. Meghan Markle has never really done this, and that's why she's very much tone deaf. She's out of touch. And what was the need to wear such high ticket items in front of these children? What was the purpose of it? And it's clearly because she's using these children as content, and obviously all of this imagery that she's getting from visiting these impoverished places is going to go on her Netflix documentary, and it's all about her. It's all about her trying to be the star of the show. She wants to ensure that as these moments go down in history, she was wearing the most expensive stuff. She was the best dressed. And to be quite honest with you, the clothes were frumpy to say the least. And I know maybe she's wanting to conceal the mics and the cameras and the wires and the this and the that. But it was a lot of money for very little result. And then on top of it, it's not helping with building the public's trust or likability in her image as a true humanitarian. Everything about her that she does is really fake. On top of them flying in on private jets and flying out on private jet, and also driving around the city in gas guzzling 4x4s, it's just all very contradictory to everything that they proclaim and profess they are trying to combat. They say that the royals have been unwelcoming to them, and they claim that they are the most relatable. Harry said that in one of his interviews, that he believes he's the most down-to-earth, relatable person in the family, but yet nothing that they do really does emulate that. So they've given themselves an even harder time by this latest spin, and it just seems that everything that they do together, Harry and Meghan, just seems to fall flat, dead on its face. And now obviously we know that there's a lot of tension because of this desire to strengthen their royal ties by christening baby Lily back in the UK. So this is just another confirmation that something's definitely going on. So with all that being said, guys, I'll be back with another video. Bye, guys.